So hello everybody, little bit different video today. Lots of you were asking for a little bit more private information about myself, so that's what I'm gonna do now. A slightly different video, no script, so bear with me if it's not that fluent. So first of all, my name is Martin. I'm from Germany, in Brandenburg. That's the area around Berlin. That's the area where Tesla is building the Gigafactory right now. It's also the area where the Eurospeedway is located. That's just around the corner here. You might know it because of the big crash that Alex Zanardi had back in the day. I grew up in a family that was always very interested in technology. So my mother is driving motorcycles since she is 16. My father used to do karting. Later on, he introduced me to karting. Later on, he did his pilot license. And also my grandfather was very much into motorsport, motocross and stuff. And so during my childhood, I was surrounded by nice technology, by motorcycles, aeroplanes, cars. And pretty early I decided I want to design my own vehicles. I did this, so when I was in primary school, I wanted to be a car dealer because I thought the car dealer would design and build the cars and then later on sell them. But when I figured out that there are engineers in the background, I knew that I want to be an engineer. So I focused entirely on that, focused on math and physics during my school time. And in my free time as a child, I already worked on motorcycles at home and of course cars and Lego and radio-controlled models. I had planes and ships and different cars and stuff. So I was always surrounded by technology. I always liked that. And when I was around 14, 15, my father and grandfather couldn't answer my technical questions anymore. So my father said, why don't you go to the local car workshop around the corner and just ask them if you could work there after school for free and just ask them everything you want. So that's what I did. They were happy to take me. I was for free anyway. And that was a great time. So for 2 years after school, in a normal school week, I would go to this backyard workshop and just work with them until they finish work for the day. And we were working on all kinds of cars there. So from small Citroen AX up to big Bentleys. And I really learned a lot during this time. And later on, when my timetable in school got longer, I couldn't work for this company anymore. I needed to find another company that's working longer hours so I could still work after school. And I found a local paint and body shop. So again, I worked on cars. And that was a pretty nice experience because I did other stuff. So it was all about preparing parts for painting, repairing crashed cars, picking cars up from customers, bringing them back there. So this is the stuff that I did during a normal week. And I used all my holidays during my school time to work for companies, so to do internships. For example, I've been working for Porsche, BMW, VW. I worked in production, I worked in the car dealerships, and all of that happened during my school time. Now, some of you might ask, why do I tell you that? Because I always get the question, or how do you start your career after school? And I always say, your career doesn't start after school, it starts anytime. So already try to work on your career once you're in school. And my advantage was that once I was finished with my school, I already had a long list of references. I've been working at a lot of different dealerships, car workshops, even car production. And that got me into my next steps. So the next nice jobs that are harder to get. So right after school, I applied for a lot of different jobs in the car industry. The car industry in Germany has some junior engineer programs. And pretty early on, I was interested in that. I did research when I was 15, 16 already, and I knew that was my goal. I want to get into such a program because you are already an internal employee there. You're already paid. There are no tuition fees in Germany. So as a student, you have a pretty good life already. And after this program, after such programs, you have the duty to stay with the manufacturer. So instead of looking for a job after your study, you have to stay there, otherwise you have to pay punishment fee. So it's a pretty nice problem to have. And I used my application time to apply for a lot of different companies, car manufacturers, but also suppliers, also companies that I didn't really want to work for, but I was interested in their business, because this application time is very interesting, because you are invited for an interview, and you get a free factory tour, you get to know the place, you get to know some people. I also got to know some applicants there that took the job there, and later on when I worked in a different company, I already had contacts there, so it was very good. It was very good for me to understand the German car industry. And in the end, I went to Audi. So in Ingolstadt, I became member of their STEP program, which is a 5-year junior engineer program. And I became a professional car mechanic. And I also studied automotive engineering there. And for me, it was like paradise. For 5 years, I was internal employee there. I could ask all the questions I want. I could see everything. I always had access to the factory on every level. So technical development, production, quality management, everything. I even participated in management meetings where they decide if the car has 3 or 4 wheels. And it was a very interesting time for me. And part of this program is also that during your holidays, any free time you have in between this program, semester holidays or something, you always have the duty to go back to the company and work in a certain department. Since you're already an internal employee and you're already paid by HR anyway, you're for free for all these departments. So they are very happy to take you. So you can build your own career path during this time. And that's what I did. So some of my colleagues decided on one topic and focused on that for the entire 5 years. And I, on the other hand, went to a lot of different departments. So I was in aerodynamics, cooling, packaging, but also other departments like competitor analysis. It's very interesting because you get competitor cars, you completely disassemble them, you analyze everything, put it back together. You get a very good idea of how each company is designing the cars, what are their different development targets. And after these 5 years, I finished that program and I stayed at Audi and worked there for another 2 years as engineer in the wind tunnel. So I was in aerodynamics and cooling design, especially for electric, hybrid and hydrogen cars. And I just to tell you, so this is just a quick summary of all my career steps. If you have any questions about each one of these steps, then I can do a separate video about this. So during my time at Audi in Ingolstadt, I was also a member of the local Formula student team. I also worked in the laboratory at the university, and I did some research on car rollover behavior and vehicle dynamics and crosswind behavior of cars. And during this time, I was also a member of a local endurance racing team. So that was a small team. We consisted of 6-7 Audi engineers that came together to build a race car and race it on the Nürburgring. That was an Audi RS4, and then the second generation was an Audi RS5. The team had some aerodynamic and cooling issues when I came there. We solved these problems. Maybe I can do a separate video about this if you're interested. And I really enjoyed this time in Ingolstadt because later as an engineer I could develop future cars, but in my free time I could go to the Nürburgring and we could try different things there. And what I learned at the Nürburgring I could apply in my designs for the future road cars. Maybe I can tell you the first big project I was involved with is the car that we know today as the Audi e-tron. So I was involved in aerodynamics and cooling development at this car. And also many other projects. Some of them didn't make it to production, but it was a very interesting time. And after this I said, I want to take a step further. So what's the highest that a car engineer could reach? And that is, of course, Formula One aerodynamics. So that was my next target. So I focused on that and I quit my job at Audi. I moved to England. I studied advanced motorsport engineering in Cranfield. There are 3 big universities, so Oxford, Brookes, Southampton, for race car aerodynamics and crane field for advanced motorsport engineering. I applied for all three of them, and I got an offer of all three of them, but I decided to go to crane field because it's quite a, you don't just learn about aerodynamics, you learn about other things too. So you learn about tires and about suspension, and you learn about drivetrain and everything from a motorsport point of view. This course had a very strong relationship to Formula One already. So the teams are very close to the university, of course. You are in this so-called motorsport valley north of London. And that was very interesting for me, knowing the German car industry. It was very nice to see how the British motorsport industry works. So I had contact to nearly all of the Formula One teams during that time. I wanted to write my master thesis with Manor Formula One at the time, but then they called me and said they are bankrupt. So I wrote my master thesis at McLaren. And after I finished my thesis, I went to Force India. And in Force India, I worked in the aerodynamics department. I was an aero designer, mainly responsible for the rear wing, but I've been working on all kinds of parts of the car, from the front wing, rear wing, floor, suspension, bodywork, driver helmet, whatever, everything around the car. And the thing is also that with such a small team, you have less people and you have more responsibility. That was exactly what I wanted after my time at Audi, because at Audi you have a lot of money and a lot of people, and I wanted it exactly the other way around. So Force India was exactly that. Little money, make the most of the money you have, and not a lot of people, so a lot of responsibility. It was a very nice time there. I was also there during the bankruptcy, so we became Racing Point afterwards, and the arrival of Stroll, and the whole turn that the team took until today. And that was a very interesting time for me. And if you have any questions about that, we can also do videos about this. So how do I get into Formula One? What's the difference between road car engineering, race car engineering? Of course, I can't talk about any specific projects, but we can talk in general about what is it like to work in Formula One, and can you go trackside, and all these kind of questions that people always ask. And yeah, that was a very interesting time for me again, and I got a pretty good understanding of how Formula One works. I've been working with a lot of different departments there, and in the end I decided to be self-employed, so I quit my job at Racing Point, and I started my own company, and I'm consulting motorsport teams if they have any problems with aerodynamics or cooling. And then just this summer, as you might know, I just moved back to Germany, and I'm doing the same thing here now. So that's the quick summary of my career steps so far. Like I said, if you have any questions about each one of these career steps, just let me know, just comment below, and I can do separate videos about this. I also updated my equipment. I hope the sound quality is better now. And yeah, this whole YouTube thing is a pretty exciting journey, because I never really wanted to do it, and then some of my friends said, just do it, try it, it would be great, and I always said, no, I'm not really the presenter kind of guy. But now during Corona I started, and I liked it, and also it worked much better than I thought it would be. So yeah, let me know how you like it. Do you like more of these videos where you see me, where you see my cars? We are in a pretty area here. We have 2 unrestricted highways here, autobahns. And we have pretty nice country roads here as well, so we can shoot some videos with my cars if you want. And I can, yeah, I will keep on doing the videos with the news about new race cars. I also like the historical stuff a lot, so there might be more coming now. Now that my move is done, there might be more videos coming. So just let me know what you think, what you're interested in, and I will do a video about it. So thanks again, and yeah, see you soon. Bye.